the cash book MCQ part, multiple choice questions. To start with, first question. Cash book is an example of general journal, special journal, systematic journal. It's not a journal. Friends, try to understand the point that what is a special journal? That is, if a number of transactions are there and they are of similar nature, then you are creating, terming it as a special journal. And since in an organization cash transactions will be n in number with receipts and payments, we are separately creating a book called as, subsidiary book called as cash book. So on that pretext we say cash book is a special journal. And then, so for question number 1, B is the right answer. Then question number 2, cash book is a, of course, many times we studied the point that it is a subsidiary book as well as a principal book. When we say subsidiary book, it is a part of your day book and a subdivision of your day book. On that pretext it is a subsidiary book, and also it acts as a ledger account also. That is, there is no need for separately opening in the general ledger the cash account. As it is, the cash book which you prepared will have debit and credit, and the difference between the debit and credit will show the balance of the cash at the end of the financial year. So on that pretext, cash book is a subsidiary book and a principal book. So D is the right answer for question number 2. Which of the following the kind of main cash book? See, when we say main cash book, that main cash book can be in the form of a single column, double column, or a triple column. All these you term it as a what? You term it as a the main cash book only. All these things you will term it as a main cash book only. So the right answer is all of them is the right answer for question number 3. Petty cash book is what? Petty cash book is also a subsidiary book. Already in the last session you studied about the petty cash book with analytical petty cash book with columns for the different small expenses and all. So your petty cash book is also a subsidiary book. So cash book is a subsidiary book, so also your petty cash book is also a subsidiary book. Subsidiary book, why we will open? When transactions are getting increased, we want to have similar transactions to be placed in one particular book, so that book you call it as a subsidiary book. So your petty cash book is a subsidiary book. B is the right answer. Cash in hand account may have, see, cash account, friends, earlier also we discussed the point that cash account will always have a debit balance only. Your bank account can have what? Both debit balance as well as a credit balance. Once you got money with the bank, then bank account shows a debit balance. Once you were money, that is what you have in your bank, you are withdrawing more than what you have, then it is called as bank overdraft. It is in a way a loan or a facility given by the banker. So bank account can have debit or credit balance, whereas your cash account always will have a debit balance only, because no way it is possible for you to spend more than what you have. So cash account, when you look at, always debit side total of the cash account is more than the credit side total, thereby there will be a debit balance. So cash in hand account may have only debit balance. So A is the right answer. Then sixth question, which of the following is correct? Cash book is a journal and not a ledger. No, it's not a correct statement. Cash book is a ledger but not a journal. This is also not a correct statement. Cash book is both a journal as well as a ledger. This is a correct statement. So that is the peculiar feature of the cash book. It acts both as a journal as well as a ledger. When we say it also acts as a ledger, what we mean is there is no need for separately opening the cash account in the journal ledger. As it is a cash book, you can take the balance and can find out the closing balance of the cash. So on that pretext, cash book is both a journal as well as a ledger. Then question number 7, friends, which is entered on the debit side of the cash book? Cash discount allowed, cash discount received, trade discount received, trade discount allowed. The question of accounting for the trade discount through books does not arise. You will account the cash discount, but cash discount received is a income, cash discount allowed is a what we term it as the cash discount allowed is an expense. On the debit side of the cash book, on the debit side of the cash book, you will have the discount allowed. That's what you observed in the last session also, that a discount allowed is to be recorded on the debit side. Let us suppose Divya need to pay to you 1000 rupees, whereas she paid 900 rupees in full and final settlement. So in that situation, that 100 rupees where you recorded it on the debit side of the cash book. So which is entered on the debit side of the cash book is the cash discount allowed is a point, friends. And then small payments are recorded in a book called as petty cash book. Already we studied about the petty cash book. So for question number 8, D is a right answer. Question number 9, the main advantage of the petty cash book is what? Why you are going to prepare the petty cash book? When there is a main cash book, why you are preparing the petty cash book, and what are the advantages that you are going to get by having the petty cash book is control over the small payments. Once we wanted to have the control over the small payments, naturally we need to have the petty cash book, because in an analytical manner you are able to see what expense you have and in a detailed manner, and at any point of time you can identify which expense, how much is the amount and all. That really brings the control over the small payments. And of course it also saves the time of the chief cashier, and also there is a saving of labor in writing up the cash book and posting into the ledger. If you don't have the petty cash book, what will happen, friends? In the main cash book, small expenses every time you should write by cartage, by postage. Let us suppose every day this cartage, postage, courier, these expenses are there, then all 365 days you need to record so that your main cash book becomes bulky, whereas once you have got the petty cash book, you can also save the labor in writing up the cash book and posting the same into the ledger. Whereas if you have got the petty cash book in an analytical manner, what you are doing at the end of the month, each total of the your expense you are posting it into the ledger. So it helps in saving the labor in writing up the cash book and posting it to the ledger. So all the three are the advantages of having the petty cash book is a point. 10th question. At the end of the year, petty cash book balance is shown in the balance sheet. Of course, in the balance sheet, what the cash balance you are going to show, friends, it is the sum total of the balance of the cash in the main cash book plus balance of the cash in the petty cash book. All of you are able to get my point. At the end of the financial year, in the balance sheet, what the cash balance you are going to show, it is a sum total of petty cash balance as well as the main cash balance. So at the end of the year, petty cash book balance is shown in the balance sheet as a part of the cash balance is a point. So A is the right answer. Then petty cash may be used to pay what? Expenses relating to postage and conveyance. Yes, postage and conveyance are the petty expenses. Salaries and wages to the finance development staff. No, salaries and wages are the major expenses. It will not be paid out of the petty cash book. For purchase of the furniture and machinery also, payment will not be made through the petty cash book. Only postage and conveyance expenses and related small expenses can only be paid by through the petty cash. So A is the right answer for question number 11. Then 12. If the petty cash fund is not reimbursed just prior to the year end and appropriate adjusting entry is not made, then see, first try to understand the question. Let us suppose in the petty cash interest system, what we studied is that first the petty cashier will be given at the beginning of the period a particular fixed sum, and at the end of the period he will be asked to give the expenses, and again reimbursement will be made to the petty cashier. So under the imprest system, what is happening, every time at the beginning or at the end of the financial year, the same amount of the cash will be there. That system we termed it as imprest system of maintenance of the cash. Now in this context, the question says what? If the petty cash fund is not reimbursed just prior to the year end and an appropriate adjusting entry is not made, then what will happen? A complete audit is necessary? No, that is not the point. Just because the petty cash fund is not reimbursed, that does not mean that there is an error or a fraud which requires you to have a complete audit. That is not the point. The petty cash account is to be returned to the company's cashier. That is also not the case. And expenses are overstated and cash is understated. That is also not correct. Cash is overstated and expenses are understated. See, point of interest here is like the question says what? Petty cashier made the petty expenses and he is not giving you those expenses details. So expenses you are not booking it in the what? In your main accounts. So what is happening? Let us suppose I am giving to Karthik 5,000 rupees. He is my petty cashier and he need to give me an account for that 5,000 rupees, and I have to account for those expenses and I have to account for the reduction in the cash. Let us suppose by the time I am finalizing my books as on 31st March, Mr. Karthik absconded, gone away to America without giving me the account. Since he has not given me the account, I presume and assume that he has not spent anything out of it, and I completed my balance sheet. Taking that with Mr. Karthik, still that 5,000 rupees is there. But Karthik already spent. Expenses are not getting recorded and he has not given me any account of that particular expense. Then what will happen, friends? My cash gets overstated and expenses gets understated. Cash gets overstated, expenses gets understated. See, when actually I gave petty cash to Karthik, what is the entry I am writing? Petty cash accounted to main cash. My petty cash should get increased and main cash should get decreased. As and when he gives the expense to me, then what I will do? I will write the expense accounted to petty cash. What is happening here? That is, he is not giving me the account of those expenses. So I am not reimbursing him any amount. So I presume that the petty cash amount is not being spent. So petty cash continues to be there with that 5,000 rupees only. Expenses are not getting recorded, in which case cash gets overstated and expenses gets understated is a point. So let me read the question again. If the petty cash fund is not reimbursed just prior to the year end and appropriate adjusting entry is not made, because at the end of that particular period, if you want to book the expenses, what should be the adjusting entry that you have to pass? Expenses account debtor to petty cash. But you are not passing that entry. Once you don't pass that particular adjusting entry, naturally your cash balance will be more, whereas expenses will get understated is the point. So for question number 12, D is the right answer, friends. Then I move to the question number 13. The term impressed system is used in relation to, already we discussed this particular point, impressed system of petty cash maintenance. What is the impressed system? That is weekly or monthly, once the petty cashier will be bringing to the main cashier the petty cash book as well as the expense vouchers, which the main cashier will check and again reimburse him for the amount that he has spent out of the petty cash, so that petty cash always, the opening balance and the closing balance will be one and the same. Such kind of system we termed it as impressed system of maintenance of the petty cash. So impressed system is used in relation to what? Petty cash book. So D is a right answer. Question number 14. A dash maintains the petty cash book. Who maintains the petty cash book? Petty cashier maintains the petty cash book. So C is the right answer. 15th. Under 3-column cash book, the cash account and the bank account are prepared separately, subsequently, simultaneously, none. Simultaneously. They are not prepared separately. Both of them are in the same cash book. It is not that after cash you account for the bank. Simultaneously you are going to account for the both cash and bank. So C is the right answer. Which of the following transaction is not posted in the ledger? Withdrawn from the bank. If cash is withdrawn from the bank, what is the entry, friends? If cash is withdrawn from the bank, cash account debtor to bank, and it is a contra entry, it will be recorded in the cash book only. Again, it will not be posted to any ledger. In the ledger, you don't have the cash account or the bank account. So the question of posting into the ledger does not arise. Since both the accounts are the same there in the cash book, what we are saying that the transaction of withdrawing the cash from the bank for official purpose is not going to be again posted to the ledger. Whereas withdrawn from bank for personal use, what is the entry, friends? Drawings account debtor to bank. Drawings account will be there in the ledger. So into the drawings account the posting need to be made. Withdrawn for personal use, that is also cash being withdrawn for personal use, the entry is drawings account debtor to cash. Drawings account will be there in the ledger, so posting is required. Withdrawn cash for purchase of the machinery, entry is machinery account debtor to cash, so machinery account will be there in the ledger, so posting is required there. Only when cash is withdrawn from the bank for official purpose. If nothing is stated, also simply withdrawn from bank is there in the problem, means what? Such a withdrawal is for the official purpose. If it is for the personal use, necessarily the problem should say there that withdrawn from bank for personal use means withdrawn from the bank. Withdrawn for personal use means cash is withdrawn from the cash box. So for the question number 16, withdrawn from the bank for bank, there is no need for making the posting into the ledger. Why there is a no need for making posting into the ledger? Since both cash account and the bank account will be there in the cash book, it results in a contra entry is the point. So question number 16, A is the right answer. question number 17. Which of the following transaction is posted in the ledger? Already we discussed this particular point just now, so I am not reading in detail that cash withdrawn from the bank for personal use. Entry is drawings account dated to bank. So drawings account, since it will be there in the ledger, automatically posting gets warranted into the ledger, whereas cash deposited into bank account dated to cash is a contra entry, no requirement to make the posting to any account in the ledger. Cash withdrawn from the bank, contra entry, cash account dated to bank account. These two do not require any posting into the ledger is a point. So C is a right answer for question number 17. Then question number 18, in a 3-column cash book, trade discount allowed is recorded on the debit side of the cash book. Friends, again and again we are discussing on the same point, that is, there is no question of bringing into the books the trade discount part. Cash discount received is recorded on the credit side of the cash book. Yes, this is a true statement only, that is, a discount allowed will be written on the debit side of the triple column cash book, and discount received will be entered on the credit side of the cash book. It is an income. Discount columns are balanced. No, discount columns will not get balanced. Discount allowed will be totaled and posted to the ledger. Discount received also will get totaled and posted into the ledger. There is no concept called as discount allowed and discount received both gets balanced, that is, debits are more than credits or credits are more than debits. Like such checking is not warranted, because discount allowed is an expense, discount received is an income. They get posted at the end of the period to the respective accounts in the ledger. Bank column is always having a debit balance. It's not correct. Earlier also we discussed on this particular point. When you have your money more than what you have withdrawn, then it will have a debit balance. But banker can allow you to have a cash credit facility or overdraft facility, in which case bank account can always have either the debit balance or the credit balance. So it is not correct on our part to say that bank column always will have debit balance, is not the point. Cash account will always have the debit balance. So the point of interest here is, in a triple column cash book, cash discount received is recorded on the credit side of the cash book is a correct statement. B is a right answer. Then 19th question. In a 3-column cash book, only cash column and discount columns are balanced. There is no question of discount column getting balanced. Both cash as well as the bank columns will get what? Balanced. Only bank column and discount column gets balanced. That is also not a correct statement. Only cash column and bank column are balanced. Yes, this is the right statement. Cash column, bank column, discount column are balanced. Discount column will not get balanced. Discount allowed will be posted to the discount allowed account. Discount received will be totaled and posted to the discount received account. That's what you observed in the last session also when we prepared the triple column cash book is a point, friends. So C is the right answer. Then question number 20, which is not a contra entry in the triple column cash book. Cash deposited into bank, it's a contra entry. Bank account dated to cash. Cash withdrawn from the bank, it's a contra entry because entry is cash account dated to bank. And cash withdrawn from the bank for personal use, this is not a contra entry because entry is drawings account dated to bank, and drawings will be posted to the drawings account in the ledger is a point. So this is not a contra entry. So C is the right answer for question number 20, friends. Then question number 21, when a firm maintains a 3-column cash book, it need not maintain what? It need not maintain both cash account as well as bank account in the ledger. So D is the right answer. Question number 22. When a check received on a particular date is not deposited the same day into the bank, it is entered. Already we discussed on this particular point. If let us suppose there is a check which you received and you are not sending the same for collection on the same day, what I said, treat it as a cash and you record the transaction as if it is a cash received, cash account data to party from whom you received that particular check. Next, when you deposit such a check into the bank, then you treat it as if you deposited the cash, then contra entry you write bank account data to cash. So the point here is, when a check is received on a particular date, is not deposited on the same day into the bank, then it is entered in the cash column on the debit side, because the entry we are passing is cash account data to party account. A is the right answer. Then when check is returned, when check gets dishonored, what is a journal entry? When check gets dishonored, the journal entry is bank account is to be reduced, so credit the bank account and again debit the debtor account. Let us suppose Divya need to pay to me 10,000 rupees and she gave a check. What is the entry? The bank account data to Divya, and once I present this particular check, Divya dishonors this particular check, again the amount recoverable from Divya will go back to the 10,000, we will debit Divya account and we will reduce our bank account by giving a credit to the bank account. So the entry as and when check gets dishonored is what? Party account debtor to bank. So in the cash book it will be recorded on the credit side in the bank column. So when check is returned dishonored, it is recorded in the bank column on which side? On the credit side. In case if you receive the check, you are going to record it on the debit side. If such a check got dishonored, it will be recorded on the credit side of the bank account, is what you have to remember. So C is the right answer for question number 23. Question number 24. When a check received is endorsed, it must be entered on. Once the check received is getting endorsed, what should be the entry for endorsement of a check? Friends, I received a check from Richa. Entry is bank account data to Richa. And once that check got endorsed to Monica, who happens to be one of my creditors, then the entry is Monica's account data to bank. So this is a journal entry. Monica's account data to bank. How do you record in the triple column cash book? By Monica in the bank column of the triple column cash book. So the point here is, on the credit side of the cash book only, on the debit side of the cash book, on the both sides of the cash book, all receipts and payments of the cash. The right answer is A is the right answer, friends. That is, on the credit side of the cash book in the bank column, you are going to record this particular transaction. If you want, you can also write the entry party account data to bank. That made us to say that it will be recorded on the credit side of the cash book. Question number 25, friends. If the debit and credit aspects of a transactions are recorded in the cash book itself, it is called as what? Contra entry. Cash account data to bank or bank account data to cash, what we said, it is a contra entry. So for question number 25, D is the right answer. Question number 26. Which of the following is the liability of the firm? Which is a liability? Debit balance in the analytical petty cash book. If analytical petty cash book has got a debit balance, it means it is an asset. Credit balance in the bank passbook. Credit balance in the bank passbook is always good. In our books, bank account will show a debit balance. In banker's account, if that balance will have a credit balance. See, if I got the money with my banker, then banker is obliged to give it to me at any point of time when I am demanding that money. So in my books, bank account will show a debit balance, whereas in banker's book, it is a liability for him, so it will show a credit balance. What is an asset for me is a liability to the banker. So banker books, passbook is what? Our account abstract in the banker's books. Banker also will maintain his books of accounts, and there our account will be there once we have a savings account or current account, and if such account is showing in their books the credit balance, means in the banker's books we are creditors, means in our books bankers are debtors. So that is a positive situation. So bankers books में credit balance है तो it is not a liability. In our books if the credit balance is there, it is termed as a liability. In our books if debit balance is there, it is an asset. So credit balance in the bank passbook is not a liability, it is an asset for us. Debit balance of the bank column of the cash book, it is also an asset. Credit balance in the bank column of the cash book, this means what? If the credit balance is there, means debits are less than the credits. You have withdrawn more than what you have in the bank, then in that case it is called as a loan taken from the bank, and loan taken from the bank is a liability, is a point, friends. So for question number 26, D is the right answer. These type of questions, there is always a possibility of getting tested in the examination, very important. Then question number 27. Look at question number 27. When the question is big, friends, your burden gets reduced. If the question is small, then your burden will get increased. Question is big means always have a smiling laugh and read the question, because half the answer is there in the question itself. But read carefully and patiently, that is most important for a CA student. What are the essential qualities of the CA student? Essential qualities of the CA student, a number of things are there, but to tell you few essential qualities of a CA student, one is the patience, second is the regularity, third is the discipline. Like that, if I go on saying, there will be at least 10 to 12 basic essential qualities which a CA student should have. But foremost importance is the patience. Observation is most important in our profession, friends. More than what you talk, try to get into a habit of listening what others talk. Got the point? So our profession demands lot of listening with a patience. Look at ABC Limited makes the payment to its sundry creditors through checks, and a cash discount received on these payments is recorded in the triple column cash book. In the event of dishonor of any such check, the discount so received should be written back through what? See, for an early payment, all of you know that cash discount will be given. Let us suppose Rachana need to give me 10,000 rupees. I said, Rachana, if you immediately pay, I will give you a cash discount of 1,000 rupees. So she gave a check to me and I wrote the entry, bank account debtor 9,000, discount account debtor 1,000 to Rachana. If Rachana dishonors that particular check, what will happen? Again, Rachana account will be debited with 10,000 rupees, and bank account will be credited with 9,000. A discount allowed will be reversed back and credited. That is the case with the once we receive the payment and all that. Let us suppose we need to make the payment to our sundry creditors, and sundry creditors said, if you make the early payment, then we will give you the discount. So I issued a check and immediately recorded the point that sundry creditors account debtor to bank to discount. Let us suppose because of the insufficiency of the funds, such a check got dishonored. Then what need to happen? What need to happen and how to write back that particular discount received? A debit to the discount column of the cash book, a credit to the discount column of the cash book, a credit to the bank column of the cash book, a debit to the discount account through journal proper, a credit to the creditor's account through journal proper. What is the right answer for question number 27 is a point. Here the options given are only 1 above, only 2 above, only 4 above, 4 and 5 above. What is 1? A debit to the discount column of the cash book. Friends, once a discount received is to be reversed, please do remember you are not going to write it on the debit side of the cash book, because on the debit side of the cash book what is to be recorded is only the discount allowed. Discount received reversed cannot be written on the what you call discount allowed column, outrightly rejected. All of you are getting my point. In triple column cash book you have got 2 discount columns. One discount column is to record the discount allowed, that is the discount column on the debit side of the cash book is to record the discount allowed, whereas the credit side of the cash book what the discount column you have is the discount received. So once discount received you lost because of the check of yours getting dishonored, that discount received, if at all you need to reverse it, it cannot be done by writing it in the cash book in the discount allowed column. A credit to the discount column of the cash book, the question of writing it on the credit side again will not come, because on the credit side what you are recording is a discount received. Discount received reversed cannot be written on the credit side also. A credit to the bank column of the cash book, no, you cannot credit the same to the bank column of the cash book also. What you can do is a debit to the discount account through journal proper. So such kind of reversals you need to pass the journal entry. Such a journal entry is to be recorded through journal proper, and then a credit to the creditor's account through journal proper. So point here is whenever the discount received is to be reversed, discount received is a income, friends. To reverse it, discount received is to be debited, again creditor's account is to be credited. So entry is discount received account debtor to sundry creditors, then this particular entry will be passed through the journal proper, and directly the posting will be made to the discount received account in the general ledger. So write down a particular point. This is also very important question. Once check issued by us, once the check issued by us to the sundry creditor gets dishonored, and we lost our right with respect to discount received, we need to pass the following journal entry. That is discount received account debtor to sundry creditors and this entry will be recorded through journal proper, and this entry will be recorded through journal proper. And reversal of cash discount received, reversal of the cash discount received will be done directly by debiting discount account in the ledger. And credit will be made to the creditor's account. Credit will be made to the creditor's account. Thus we should note that reversal of discount received oblique discount allowed, discount received oblique discount allowed should not be accounted through discount columns in the cash book. Discount columns in the cash book. Definitely this is an important question from the examination point of view. Now I move to the question number 28, friends. So question number 27, we said both 4 and 5 options put together you read, then that will become the correct answer. So D is the right answer. I move to the 28th question. Discount column in the cash book are dash and their totals are entered dash in the ledger. First thing you should understand that discount columns will not get balanced. That is, you don't see what is the total of the debit of the discount account and credit of the discount column of the cash book and then balance it. Such kind of thing you don't do, because discount column on the debit side represents discount allowed, credit side discount column represents discount received. Both will be totaled and then posted in the ledger. Discount allowed will be posted in the discount allowed account in the ledger. Discount received will be posted to the discount received account in the ledger. So the right answer is they are not going to get balanced. Then they will be posted to the respective discount accounts in the ledger. So C is the right answer. In the last session we did the problem of triple column cash book. Once you are through with that particular triple column cash book, at that point of time what I said, you total the debit side of the discount column and discount received should be posted to the discount received account. Discount allowed will be posted to the discount allowed account is a point. So the right answer for question number 28 is they are not going to get balanced. They will be posted to the respective accounts in the general ledger. So question number 28, C is the right answer. Question number 29, in 3 column cash book, dash columns are memorandum columns. That is, discount columns are memorandum columns. Memorandum means what? You don't balance those columns. Just for your regular, what you call convenience purpose, you have written it, and thereafter, without balancing the discount columns, straight away that total amount is being posted to the what? respective ledger accounts in the general ledger that made us to say it as a memorandum columns. So discount columns are the memorandum columns. So in 3-column cash book, generally in any ledger account, what will happen, friends? Debits and credits, you make a total and then balance it. Whereas in the cash book, what the discount columns you have, you are going to total it, but you are not going to balance it. So on that pretext, those columns are said to be memorandum columns. So question number 29, C is the right answer. Question number 30, when a firm maintains a simple cash book, it need not maintain what? Again the cash account, because cash account is cash book is both a subsidiary book as well as it acts as a ledger account also. There is no need for separately opening the cash account in the ledger is a point that made us to say that for question number 30, D is the right answer. Then question number 31. An allowance of rupees 150 was offered for an early payment of cash of 1150. It will be entered where? In the double column cash book, you will find the discount column. So the right answer is, once discount is allowed, the entry is bank account debtor, discount account debtor to party account. So it will be recorded in the which book? That is in the triple column cash book. An allowance, so it will not be recorded in the journal proper, it will not be recorded in the ledger and expense register. It will be recorded in the double column cash book. Double column cash book, you have got a cash account and the discount account. Of course, it need not be through check. Even if somebody gives a cash and for an early payment of the cash, we can give a discount. The entry is cash account debtor, discount account debtor to party account. So this discount column, first time where you studied in the double column cash book. So the right answer for question number 31 is D is the right answer. Already you might have done with few problems on double column cash books from your regular BCom textbooks. So this is not a very big issue for you to understand. That is, in the double column cash book, you have got 2 columns amounts. One is for the cash and another is for the discount. So discount will be accounted through the double column cash book. So D is the right answer. Question number 32. Accounting the partial recovery from Mr. X of an amount of 10,000 earlier written off as bad debt is entered in. Once bad debts recovered are getting accounted for, what is the entry? First feel the entry. Entry is most important. When bad debts recovery is there, what is the entry? Cash account debtor to bad debts recovery. So our bank account debtor to bad debts recovery. So it will be recorded where? Through the cash book only it will get recorded. Any transaction of receipt or payment of the cash or receipt and payment of the bank through bank will be recorded through the cash book. So C is the right answer. Question number 33. The prompt payment, for the prompt payment the allowance given is called as what? Cash discount. For a prompt payment or an early payment, if a discount is given, such you call it as a cash discount is a point. For bulk purchases, what the discount you get is called as a trade discount. Question number 33, B is the right answer. Question number 34. Discount column in the cash book are dash and their totals are entered dash in the ledger. So in the cash book also you are looking at the revision questions, and so whenever we select a particular question for a revision, that means what? It is important question from the examination point of view also. So discount columns gets totaled and they will be entered into the ledger. So discount column in the cash book are first what? They are not going to get balanced and they are entered in the which account? Discount account in the ledger. So C is the right answer for question number 34. C is the right answer. Then friends, we will have question number 35. From the debit side of the cash book, posting is made to to the dash side of the ledger accounts. What is it? From the debit side of the cash book, posting is made to the credit side of the ledger account. That is what all of you know. Let us suppose I received from Karthik 10,000 rupees, the cash account dated to Karthik. In the Karthik account, I am going to record it as what? By cash. So what is recorded on the debit side of the cash book, in the respective ledger it will be posted onto the credit side. So question number 35, B is the right answer. Question number 36, closing balance of the cash carried down is entered on the dash side of the cash book. Closing balance is what? In the cash account, closing balance means debit totals are more than the credit side total. So balance carried down will be recorded on the credit side of the cash book is a point. So B is the right answer. Question number 37, checks received will be what? Receipt voucher, sales book, receipt voucher, bank book, journal voucher, cash book, pay-in slip and bank book. So once you receive the check, what you will do, friends, you are going to write the pay-in slip and deposit the same in the bank, and it will be recorded in the cash book or the bank book is the point. So checks once received, what is the document that you are going to use for putting the same in the bank is a pay-in slip, and you are going to record it in the bank column of the cash book, which we call it as a bank book. Then for question number 37, D is the right answer. Question number 38, checks paid. So check once you are issuing, checks paid, what are the two documents? What we are saying, check counterfoil and bank book. So checks paid into the bank, you will have the check counterfoil and the bank book. So the right answer for question number 38 is, once checks paid, the voucher or the proof of it is the check counterfoil and the bank book are the two things through which the recording and all will happen. So for question number 38, A is the right answer. Cash received, what is the basic document for recording it? Once cash is received, you are going to issue a receipt to the, you are going to cut a cash receipt. So cash receipt voucher will be there, it will be recorded in the cash book. Then cash paid means payment voucher you are going to prepare, and the receiver of the payment is going to sign on the cash payment voucher, and it will be recorded in the cash book. C is the right answer. These are all the things which you need to feel, you will be able to feel once you go to do the practical audits. So cash paid, what are the things that you have to have? Payment voucher, only when payment voucher is there, that as a proof you take and record the same in the cash book. So C is the right answer. Question number 41, discount allowed for prompt payment received by the concern is entered in. So discount allowed for prompt payment, what is the entry? That is once a discount allowed, that means you are making the payment. So parties account debtor to cash or to bank to discount. Where it will be recorded? In the cash book it will be recorded. So in the double column cash book you are going to record it. B is the right answer for question number 41. B is the right answer. Question number 42. What is the treatment if the starting point is favorable cash book balance when wrong debit is made in the cash book? Of course, friends, this particular question actually need to be discussed when we do the bank reconciliation statement. Without proper understanding about the bank reconciliation statement, it is not correct to discuss upon this particular question. So at this juncture I am only giving you the answer. but the same question will be picked up in our discussion in the bank reconciliation statement. At this juncture, the answer you take it as add to the cash book balance, C as a right answer, but more detailed discussion I'll make when I discuss the bank reconciliation statement. The question here is, in a bank reconciliation statement, when starting point happens to be the favorable cash balance and when wrong debit is made in the cash book, what you will do is, then you have to add it to the cash book balance. Of course, we will discuss it in the bank reconciliation statement chapter only. Question number 43, cash book does not record what? Credit purchases, credit sales, outstanding expenses. Yes, credit purchase will not be recorded, credit sales will not be recorded, outstanding expenses will not be recorded through the cash book. Through cash book, what will be recorded is only the cash receipts and payments. So none of the above transactions will be recorded. So all of the above transactions does not get recorded in the cash book. So D is the right answer for question number 43. 44, the main objective of maintaining the cash book is to know what? Cash and bank balances of the business. At any point of time, if you want to know the cash and the bank balances, then immediately you can get once you prepare the cash book. That is the main objective. Question number 45, double entry of each of the following transaction is completed in the cash book itself. See, cash deposited into the bank, it's a contra entry. Both debit and credit aspect of that particular journal entry will be recorded in the cash book. So cash deposited into the bank, the double entry transaction is completed in the cash book itself. So cash deposited into the bank is a right answer for question number 45. D is the right answer. Question number 46, which of the following will be recorded as a contra entry? So first check is received, that day you are not depositing the same into the bank, then you have to treat it as what? As if it is a cash received, and you are going to record the transaction cash account to party account. Next day when you deposit it, what will happen friends? You have to record a contra entry, bank account to cash. Of course, earlier also we discussed this point elaborately. Let me quickly sum up the things. A check received from Y a week earlier lodged into the bank. Last week you received a check from Y and it is not deposited at the time when it is received. Subsequently, after with 1 week gap, you are going to deposit that particular check into the bank, means then at the time when you receive it, you treat it as cash. At the time when you deposit, you make the contra entry. C is the right option. Withdrawn from the bank for personal use, the entry is a drawings account to cash. So that do not create any contra. A check received from X lodged into the bank on the same day, entry is a bank account to X, so that also does not create any contra. A customer directly deposited the money into the bank account, there also the entry is bank account to customer. So other A, B, D do not create any contra entries. A check received from Y a week back, once it gets deposited at 1 week later, then it requires a contra entry. Question number 47, contra entries are passed only when 3-column cash book is prepared. Only in triple column cash book you have got the cash and bank columns, so that warrants you to pass the contra entries. So B is the right answer. Question number 48, contra entry will be made for in 3-column cash book. Withdraw money from the bank for daughter's marriage, the entry is a drawings account dated to bank, that is not a contra entry. Withdrawn money for office use, this requires a contra entry. Depositing the check received from the Suresh on the same day into the bank, this also does not require any what? Contra entry. Both B and C, but that option is not correct, only B option is correct. Which require a contra entry? Withdraw money for office use only requires the what? Contra entry. B is the right answer. Question number 49, a transaction recorded on the credit side of the cash book is transferred to the ledger on the debit side. What is recorded on the debit side of the cash book will be recorded on the credit side. What is recorded on the credit side of the cash book will be recorded on the debit side of the cash book is the point to be noted. And question number 50, a transaction recorded on the debit side of the cash book is transferred to which side? Credit side of the ledger account.